You see, the still and very, very, very quiet voice of what we call God, our intuition, that's what intuition really is. It's something greater guiding you. If you can really listen to it, then it can actually benefit you. The universe, all of that, what we came from, the way that it communicates with us is in a very, very quiet way. And you can only hear that if the ego, what we call the ego, the mind, the personality, the thoughts, everything that's plastered on this blank canvas that and what we call life is quiet enough for you to actually hear. And the more that you hear that voice, the more of a longing you have to connect with it. And it's not necessarily a voice, like you hear a voice, right? We have to use words, and words are so, I don't know. It's so hard to deal with words, in my opinion. This is why I actually do not talk to people if I don't have to talk to people. Only if I'm, really feeling a deep connection with them. Otherwise, we get lost in these concepts and we are so identified in it. It's just too much energy for me, personally. So the voice of God is really just a feeling. It's a feeling. Is it a feeling? I wouldn't even say it's a biochemical, I wouldn't even say that it's, I don't know. That's actually an interesting thought here. It's a recognition. It has nothing to do with the mind, though. So that voice, that feeling, that whatever you want to call it, you see, because I have a very pragmatic mind, and you see how I just did that. I go, is it a feeling? It doesn't matter. But you know what I'm saying. There's a connection between you and this thing that you can't see, but you know is a part of you, and you know that you want to be connected more with that, right? So I catch myself out in those ways where I'm like, oh, why am I getting all pragmatic about this, right? So you want to be more connected with that. And that's grace. That's the thing that you want. I'm not saying you don't go out here and you don't go after what you want materialistically. There's nothing wrong with that, because this world is not separate from the spiritual world, technically. But ultimately, you will come to find eventually, after you exhaust getting everything you want or whatever, or realizing you don't actually want it without even getting it, that you want connection with this thing, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And that's you. That's what you're ambitious towards. That's your goal. I came into this world never really having ambitions, never really having I really want to do this. I had some things that I wanted to do, and I still want to do. My main thing now is I want to do an animal rescue. That's all I want to do, though. That's all I would have energy for. And that's just something I've wanted to do in the past couple of years. But ultimately, I came into this world never really wanting to do a career, never really caring too much about money. The only reason I wanted money is because I wanted security. But I never really came into wanting a family. I never really had I want this, I need a family. You know what I mean? If certain things happened, they would happen, and I would probably be okay with it. But I never, and so I never really knew why I was like that, and I always kind of got shit for it. And now, here I am at 27 years old, human years, and I'm I know why. And I'm so glad that I didn't have ambitions, because I now know what I want. And part of me thinks I don't want to get into this because people get all weird with these concepts in their mind, and then they cannot they can't broaden their perspective to just hear this, to just let it be what it is and not make it so important. Let's just talk about a past life real quick. Okay, I'm not gonna really get into that, but part of me has thought in my mind, like maybe in my previous incarnations, I got everything I wanted already. That's why I came into this incarnation not really wanting anything, because I already did it. I'm past that. Now I'm ready to like connect with this thing and be in the world but not of the world, in a little bit more of an authentic way this time. You got for eternity to do this, to connect with. There's no rush here. It's not like you're on a time limit to connect with source. I mean, it was something I conceptualized, and I thought it was kind of an interesting thought, because I was like, that actually would make sense. I came into this world with a lot of happiness too. I was a very joyous child. And then I got older, and I reached levels of despair I didn't know were possible. I'm sure you can go even farther. But for me in this incarnation, it was very difficult, and that would make sense, because the higher the highs, the lower the lows, right? So, but that was a joy, that was a good thing for me, all that stuff, all the rejection, all the, you don't fit into this world, why don't you have these desires that everyone else has? And it was because I wanted to hear this still voice of God, of the universe, of source. I like calling it source because it just makes more sense to me. It's the source of things. And it's interesting, because the more that you feel that voice and you trust that more than you trust what's going on out here. And I know that there's sometimes someone is probably listening to this and like, how is that possible? Like, this is way too real for me to do that. Eventually you will get to a point, and I'm telling you, based on coming from somebody who gets it, I get it, I understand, like how can I focus more on that than what's in front of me, especially if I'm going through some existential crisis. Not that you're not gonna not react to that existential crisis. There's nothing wrong with that. You still are human. You're human and divine. But the point is that you will find more security in that. And it's not just like, oh, I'm happy. It's a different kind of feeling. It's like a deep presence or a deep peace. And yeah. Sometimes I think these videos I make, it's kind of like my journey. I think that's almost everyone's YouTube videos. It's their journey of them becoming self-realized. Like I'll never sit here and go, I'm a self-realized being, I'm enlightened. That just totally messes with people's mind. Like, what's enlightened? This is the problem with also mainstream gurus too, you guys. Is that you look at them, and I've seen myself do this so much. Or certain ones that I used to like and listen to. I'd be like, oh, and I knew they weren't fully self-realized, because you can never, you have to kind of stay a little bit of sleep to even be in this human form, right? So, but I would compare and be like, oh my gosh, how are they doing all this stuff? And they've been through all this pain, and now they're like, and it's like, do not compare. Don't compare what you think how someone else is connecting to source or is in alignment and they're getting everything they want, or, oh, because they have this, and that, they must be in alignment. You can be in complete alignment with yourself in a very strong way and still have like no followers or have no money. So these are the things that our minds are really, really get messed up with. So anyways, I got lost in the woods there a little bit, but this still small voice feeling this I wish I had a word for it, this magnetism. You start to feel that, and you start to trust it, and and even the little things in life that cause you resistance, you start to just do them the way that you want to do them. Whether I'm talking little things, even just like everything, like writing, writing in your journal, the way that you write, and just worrying about it looking a certain way, so you strain yourself, but instead you're just going to write how you feel, that just flows with you, not worry about how it looks. That sounds dumb, but like, it might not sound dumb, but what I'm saying is like, Because I've noticed this in my life, because I'm very aware of when I'm in tension and when I'm not, to like the moment to moment to moment, which is also a blessing because it has taught me how to be very aware of my alignment or not, because I'm so sensitive to it. I notice every little time I'm in tension. And I notice it when I'm writing in my journal. I notice it when I'm playing the piano. I notice it when I'm singing. I notice it when I'm walking, how I'm walking. I notice it when I'm talking. I notice it in this video. I just notice it in all the little tiny little ways that you can possibly notice it in the mundane tasks of life. And when you start to let go of certain resistances, thinking you need to do things a certain way, even in the little ways, start with the little ways, especially if you're sensitive and you know what I'm saying, like the little resistances, and you just start letting it be what it is and letting yourself be authentic without worrying about what this is going to look like or sound like or feel like or be like. That's how you become in alignment with the source and start merging with that voice, that thing, that invisible force that is what you are connected to and are a piece of. And then you'll start to flow with that more, and you'll be transparent, and you'll find the peace that you're looking for within that. And the reason I'm bringing up resistance here, it might not make complete sense. Okay, anyways. Words are tricky. What I'm saying is you're letting go of resistance. And as you get older, you just kind of get sick of having resistance. And so what happens to most people is they just start getting bitter. But you can do this consciously and do it out of vulnerability and grace and just be conscious of it. And you start letting go of resistance and you start merging with this thing that's trying to always connect with you and always there and letting you know that you're not separate. And you start flowing through life. And oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say. That doesn't mean your life goes perfect. It doesn't mean you get all the money you think you want. That's your mind. You don't even necessarily know if that's what you came in for. You might just have picked up some idea that you think you need all this money. That doesn't mean you're in alignment or not, or have relationships, perfect relationships or whatever. It's not about getting things. It's about listening to that voice and letting go of resistance. And that's you. You and God are majority. And as you listen to that and feel that and connect with that and allow yourself organically, because again, this is not I'm going to will myself to do this. This is why I'm so careful to like how I'm talking sometimes, because you can't force yourself to be merged. You have to let it happen and allow yourself, be compassionate. That's the best thing you can do in this life with yourself. Give yourself grace, have compassion for where you're at. Understand that all these concepts about what is spiritual and what is not spiritual is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and it's bullshit. Feel your emotions, allow emotions to come up. If you feel like crying, cry. Like, let yourself cry. Even if you remember when you were a kid crying got you in trouble, or you told to shut up, or that's all that stuff comes up. We're still human. When emotions come up, and that's resistance coming out of you. Let them go. Especially if you have anger. Don't go hurt someone. Or yourself. But express it. Even if that's, for me, it's going into a room, closing the door, and like talking to myself, and not like yelling at myself, but like saying stuff out loud. That helps me with anger. Or, yeah, there's lots of ways. It's all unique. And when you let go of that resistance and you hear that still small voice and intuition of source, that's what you're looking for, you guys. I promise. So, I don't know if I kind of got all over the place there. I probably did a little bit. That's just kind of how I roll. But have compassion. Try to stay as aware as you can and let it be. And if you're not aware, accept that you can't be aware. You see, the best you can. Have compassion, release your resistance, let your emotions go as healthily as possible, and start seeing through these things, these illusions, because you guys, we're duped into delusion, layers beyond layers. Okay, so we're never gonna fully get out of this as long as we're in form, which is also, there's such a charm to this. Wow, we get to taste this life because we're in this form. So it's not all like, oh my gosh, we're trapped. This is how Source experiences itself. And it wants to get so drowned in layers of delusion and illusion to see if it can still hear that still small voice of God and the universe and itself. How beautiful. So yeah, that's my message today. Have compassion for yourself, you guys. Have grace. I'm telling you, I've had situations in my life too where I'm like, how the hell am I going to get out of this? And recently, this past 6 months-ish, I've gotten to a place, even more this past couple of weeks, like, I don't know, but it's not up to me. That doesn't mean I don't do something, but if I'm guided to do something, I will. But I don't have as much of a fret about it. Like, I'm not freaking out. I know that there's something that's going to catch me. That's the beauty of this thing that you can't see. It's not out here. You can go play with this stuff. It's fun. Do it. But it's not out here. Okay. So, trust your intuition. Don't listen to the gurus. You can listen to them if you want, but please take it with a grain of salt. I know it's so easy to be like, but they have the answer. Look at these people. They got healed. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is so unique. And you're the one that has the answer. But you also need to stay humble and be willing. The way you're going to get that answer that you do have and is available to you, really, is what it is. You can be receptive to it if you are humble and keep practicing the best to listen to this and feel this magnetism towards this source that you are. So have compassion for yourself. Have compassion for other people. That's the awesome part. When you do for yourself, you see ignorance in others and you have compassion and love for them too. So do that for yourself first and then do it for others. So that's a message, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week.